Welcome to Lacrosse Classified, your go-to source for all things NLL and box lacrosse. We will bring you the biggest names and best storylines in the world every single week. So settle down and listen up. It's time for Lax Class.
What's up, lacrosse fans? Welcome back to Lacrosse Classified. We call it Lax Class for short, and this is episode 368. Jake Elliott, Lucas Archer are back with you, and another week of lacrosse has gone by. Another week of lacrosse is ahead of us, and we have a ton to talk about on this upcoming program. Appreciate you guys being with us. Lucas, I'll tell the people what's coming on the program here momentarily, but haven't talked to you, for a few days now. What's going on? How are things over? I heard, we just before we hit the record button here, you asked me how much snow we have here in British Columbia. We have absolutely zero snow. In fact, I'm a little upset because you know the back issues I've been having. Well, I feel like I've turned a corner in that regard. I made my third visit to my guy, and he said, okay, give it a couple weeks. If you need to come back, but I think you're going to be okay. Got in a good workout, got in a good hike. Things are going okay. I haven't thrown a Frisbee yet, Lucas. I'm a little apprehensive to get out on the course. I'm missing that. But it is maybe the most picturesque day that we've seen here in British Columbia for a while. It's been pouring rain. No snow, but it's nice and clear and mild out there today. Would have been a perfect day for disc golf. But I'm here recording Lax Class. Back is feeling better. Getting back into my regular routine. Working this weekend, so I'm fired up about that. A little down about my Whitecaps not being able to get it done in the major soccer league championship there. What else do we have going on? A light week in the National Lacrosse League, so only got to watch a couple games there. Didn't do a ton on the weekend. What else? I ran into my buddy Chris Hackle this weekend. It sounds like maybe he's putting the band back together in Ladner for a run back to the Prezi in Alberta this year. So keep telling he's built 3 championship senior B teams there in Ladner. Now I think he wants to go get a 4th here with the Man Cup being in the East this upcoming season. That's about it, man. Saturday was pretty tame. Not a whole lot going on. Just kind of hunkered down this weekend. How about you?
But you talked about everything but your Seattle Seahawks of the NFL.
Well,
are you getting back on? Are you getting back in the into the jumbo bucks? Is the Coolbet account helping you?
I mean,
how this weekend
I
go?
was all over Seattle this weekend, no question about it. I don't know, they had like a 7.5 point spread, and I was all over Seattle. The other team I was all over is the Denver Broncos, who, did you see what happened here at the end of this game, Lucas? People are absolutely freaking out about the ending of this Raiders-Broncos game. 10-point game. The spread's 7.5, 8.5, depending on where you got the line. So they're down 10. Did you see this? People are losing their mind. They're yelling for corruption. People want
Came
Pete
down
Carroll
to the
locked
final
up.
3 seconds. People were losing it.
They call this phantom time-wasting penalty on this guy at the end of the game. Give him another free 15 yards. They run up. They spike the ball with seconds left to kick a meaningless field goal. Absolutely meaningless field goal. And they cover the spread. They lose by 7. So anybody that had the Denver Broncos, I don't know, man. That's going down in Vegas too, and a team that is just as awful as all hell. And you go move heaven and earth to get this last second field goal that meant absolutely nothing except covering the spread. The Raiders can suck one, and they ruined a lot of people's Sunday afternoon. I'll tell you that.
Oh man, no, I have a couple buddies that are Broncos fans too, and they
won the game. The Broncos
souls.
fans are fine, but if you had them to cover, just meaningless, absolutely meaningless.
Well, my weekend was pretty good, man. I was up at the cottage. A lot more snow up there than there was here in Brooklyn.
You're shoveling the driveway.
I was shoveling
off
the
cars
driveway
for Vinny and Funky. They got you working in the snow.
Yeah, they do. But I love it. I do. My family and I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast before. We're skiers and snowboarders
Oh
in the
yeah,
winter.
you
So
got the club, so it's
we
almost time.
exactly, yeah, we're gearing up for it. We're looking forward to it. I'll be back up at my cottage a week today, actually. So maybe I'll be able to get in a couple laps over at Blue Mountain. Who knows?
Yeah.
No, I was up at the cottage, had some hockey I had to call. Me for Knights, unfortunately, could not get the job done against the West Nipissing Lynx. Came close, took a while for the Knights to get on the scoreboard, came within a goal, but fell short on home ice. That was that.
We should probably tell the people what's coming up on the program this week, and it is a big one. Quarter four, let's work backwards. Who you got? Week 3, it is a big one. 7 games on the docket. So we'll make our picks. We'll crown our week 2 winner, and we'll check the standings a little bit as well. Why not? Quarter 3, Lax Class Lock of the Week with a 7-game slate. I wasn't just going to be satisfied offering the classmates one parlay. So we've done 2. You can ride with larger, you can ride with jumbo, you can ride both, and you can win both if you do as well. So why wouldn't you? Talk about that in quarter number 3. Quarter 2, we talked a lot about this guy on the podcast over the years. And we're finally going to get him on here. And it's the man of the week here. Only 2 games, but I don't care if there was 12 games. You do something like this, and that is make some NLL history. You're getting an invite onto Lacrosse Classified. The king of the hill, Warren Hill of the Halifax Thunderbirds, goaltender, is going to join us in quarter number 2. Never talked to Warren. I've kind of seen stuff online with, little speeches post-game and stuff from Warren. This guy seems like a real fun guy to be around. Seems like people just love Warren Hill. And I was really happy to see him put down a historic performance on Friday night over there in Halifax. Incredible. We'll talk to him about that and a whole lot more coming up in quarter 2. RyCor Standout Players of the Week, Goalie Factory Goalie of the Week. I think we know who the goalie. Normally, we kind of try and stay away from having like the goalie of the week be our guest or the standout player be our guest. Warren Hill is the Goalie Factory Goalie of the Week. Spoiler alert right there. We're still going to talk more Warren Hill here in quarter number 1. And we got to talk about the 2 games that went down over this past week. And a lot of people a little upset, Lucas. And, I will say rightly so. About, you kick the season off, 4 games, that's good. But then week 2, only two games on the schedule, only 4 teams in action. And it's a bit of a letdown, right? But again, people need to understand some things here. That arena availability is at an absolute premium in the month of December with NHL and NBA and concerts and trade shows and whatever else is going on. It is a tough draw to get arena home dates that match up and align with the rest of the entire schedule and teams and everything. So that's one thing. Having games before Christmas has not been a great recipe for success in the National Lacrosse League, and you can understand why, with it being a very expensive time for people and their families and life right before Christmas. So I think teams kind of like to limit how many home games they have before the turn of the calendar. So I get it's not ideal only having 2 games in week 2. We're getting 7 in week 3 to make up for that. And I think you just kind of have to accept it right now for what it is. Until we get the change or the schedule flip or whatever the case is, this is going to be life in the National Lacrosse League, where it's a bit of a weird schedule to kind of roll out in late November and through December. And once you get into January, then things really start cooking. So just 2 games to speak of here in week number 2. And it was Halifax and it was Oshawa. Fire Wolves and Thunderbirds. I don't even really know how to explain what I witnessed here. Like, I can't tell whether Halifax's defense and goaltending were just unbelievably good, or whether Oshawa's offense and kind of shooting and shot selection, for that matter, were really bad, or whether it was somewhere in the middle. What says you?
I think it's somewhere in the middle. I do. But it was half and half, Jake. It was. There was a whole host of miscues on offense, bad choices, not running pick and rolls well enough. Two-man game wasn't there for them, unfortunately. And then on the defensive side, they just couldn't get their switches down properly. They weren't talking, weren't able to get out on shooters' hands enough. But a big thing, and I said this on Loose Mesh After Dark on Friday, penalties, penalties, penalties.
Well, I mean, they took 7. Halifax took 6. Like, Oshawa scored 2 in the first quarter and then went, 46 minutes plus without a goal. And, that's obviously not okay and not acceptable. And I don't expect Glenn Clark to be too happy about that. But they had chances, obviously, to get some goals here. They just couldn't get it past Warren Hill. Defensively and goaltending wise, I thought they were okay. Like 2 in the first, 3 in the second, none in the third. And then it kind of busted open on them here a little bit. They went on a run and things got, and then the pulling of the goalie at the end, how many empty netters do you want to have them score? Like, I get you want to kind of work on your 6-on-5 down the stretch here a little bit, but this scoreline made to be looking a little bit worse than I think the actual game was. But at the end of the day, 2 goals is 2 goals, and it's something that's only happened 3 times in league history, 2 in the regular season. Vince, Watson, Hill are the 3 names on that list now as far as goaltenders go.
That's a star-studded list. To be in company with Bob Watson and Vino is just a treat. So I bet Warren is loving that. Not that he cares for individual accolades and records and all of that, but I'm sure he's pretty pleased to be in company with those 2. Yeah, going back to the empty net towards the end of the game, Jake, I'm not really sure what to say about that, really.
The only thing I can think of is they wanted to get some reps in 6-on-5 and try and score that 3rd goal, so they weren't part of a trivia question more than anything. Like, whether it's 7-2, 8-2, 11-2, who cares, I guess, right? Like, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. So that's the only real explanation I can come up with. I will say, another kind of thing that you look at this game, 15 for 17 for Jake Withers in this game. And just another example, like I think Vancouver ran into this pretty hard in their first game as well. When you're trying to come back in a game in particular and you just can't come up with the ball, it's virtually impossible. And I think it's a glaring thing. Like you've seen with Stathakis out, you've seen with Nardella out, you've seen with Naso out. You don't have your number 1 guy. Like that's the only thing I want to say that kind of kept Calgary in the game was that J.I. was pulling balls up every time either Calgary scored or Saskatchewan scored. He was winning the ensuing draw, and that kept Calgary in that game able to kind of claw their way back, and they almost clawed all the way back. What'd they make it? It was was it 14-14 at one point, 14-13? Like, they were down huge in that game and then managed to kind of pull themselves back in that game, but just couldn't quite get over the hump. When you got to spend that kind of energy trying to come back in a game, sometimes getting that next goal to kind of put you over the top is almost impossible to get. And I think Calgary just kind of ran out of gas at the end of that game after working so hard.
Yeah, they did. Closest the game was 13-all, and then Rush scored 3 straight at the end to win 16-13. But you're right. J.I., he just found a way to keep winning draws and lose balls.
Yeah, 26 for 33. That's a lot of extra possessions.
Definitely. Since we're talking about the Roughnecks and the Rush, I will say, I think Aiden Walsh played a good 55 minutes. I'm not too sure what he was thinking in the final 5 minutes. I'm not sure if that was a shooter decision to just say, hey, come up to the restraining line essentially on draws or don't stand in your crease or something. But I'm not sure if having a goalie on the restraining line to help win draws or to make an attempt to try and win the loose ball off of it, and then you're out there playing defense when you're 50 feet from your net.
I mean, he and McLeod's save percentage, not good. Not good. So, I mean, I think the first one got by him, first shot of the game, and then he came out. McLeod came in for a bit, and then Walsh went back in. He did settle down, I want to say, after coming back into the game, and maybe there was, a lot of pressure on him with him taking over the Calgary Ned and first game and all the rest of it. Just didn't get the start he was looking for. Robert Church got the start he was looking for. As he Shanks and Keenan are going to be a dangerous trio here for the Rush, who, Frank wasn't at his best either, but made the stops that he needed to kind of down the stretch of that game. I have to say, I kind of called out Ottawa last week with the number that showed up for their home opener. I had some things to say last year as well, and mind you, they showed up when it came down to game 2 of the finals, but I believe I saw this be Saskatchewan's second lowest home opener attendance in the Rush's history. That includes Edmonton. And that's not okay, because I know,
That's
I've
sad.
been there. I've seen it. I've felt it. They're out there. And I don't know what the disconnect is right now between Rush Nation and the Rush, because this is a team that went to the championship last year, and they deserve better. I know SaskTel's not the flashy, shiny building, and it's but you got a real good team there. I don't think there's a whole lot other things going on in Saskatoon on a Saturday night, and I don't know what's happening there on the prairies, because they better figure it out there. Just like in Ottawa, you better figure it out, Saskatchewan. Otherwise, this unboxed game, Edmonton's looking to get a team back. Just saying.
With the Rush being in Saskatoon, does that have anything to do with their attendance records because they're not in Regina, which is the province's capital city?
No,
does that have anything to do with attendance?
I haven't been to Regina, but I think it's slightly bigger than Saskatoon. But it's a good, I want to say, 2 hours away. People do come from Regina, at least they used to. But Saskatoon's a big enough city where they could fill that building a bunch of times with Rush fans. So, Regina, it's the Rough Riders. They're kind of the kings of Regina and Saskatoon. I would say the Rush are the marquee team there, but not for their home opener here. And they missed out on 16 goals here from Saskatchewan. And it's against the Roughnecks, too. They're arch rivals. You just never know what's going to happen when the Roughnecks and Rush play. And I don't know. I'm more disappointed than anything else.
Yeah, that's the word. It's disappointment. It's also frustration. You've seen the product on the floor. We know what Saskatchewan has built up over the past couple years. We know what Derek Keenan has put together. It's not like they're out there getting blown out every single game. They're winning. They're scoring.
Well,
they're making it fun.
Good chance your team's going to win when you show up there. It's not like they're 3-15 last year and haven't made the playoffs in 4 years.
It's fun to watch the Rush play lacrosse.
The other thing I need to mention, Lucas, is a lot of people upset that NLL Plus crashed out at halftime. And fortunately, I have other ways that I'm able to kind of watch the game, but I know a lot of people missed out on that. I didn't really kind of lean in and look for an answer in that regard. I'm sure, people that need to know, and hopefully that situation doesn't happen again. That's tough, right? When you're the only game on the night and that happens, in week number 2, your website crashes down and people can't watch the second half. That's unacceptable, and they know that. Fans know that. You and I know that, and hopefully that does not happen again.
Whatever changes or, circuit programming codes need to be rewritten, whatever the case may be.
I will say, Lucas, I don't know
appreciated.
if it was an issue on their end or maybe something coming out of the building there in SaskTel, because I know, sometimes things can be a little sketchy in that building as far as technology goes as well. So I don't know. I don't want to blame anybody. I don't want to point the finger at anybody. I think that's something that can be avoidable. So I hope they rectify that situation. There was one other thing that I wanted to mention, and now I can't remember what that was. Oh, got a call. We talked last week. I knew it'd come to me in a second. I got a call last week. Well, I got a couple of calls. Remember we were talking about the Dobson penalty and whether he should have served that and what have you. And I said I would bring that up next week. Well, it's next week. I did get a couple of calls, not naming names here, but in fact, I did learn that Joel Watson was in fact right. Brett Dobson never should have served that penalty. That was removed from the league rulebook over a decade ago. And for people that don't know, because the CBA negotiations, I don't know if I mentioned this last week or not, but the officials in that, they almost canceled the game, but they managed to get it off and used all American refs in that game, and none of whom had ever been a crew chief before. So, you kind of have to forgive them. Field lacrosse, American referees, goalies serve their penalties. It's something that is kind of shameful that it happened. Like, I'm surprised Eddie Como didn't go at them a little bit harder. Like, hey, like go into the room and look at the rule book here, because it's not. And I said, like, do you not have like a rule book you can just refer to in the timekeeper's box, or like if you're not sure on something, no, that's not a good look if you're doing that, checking the rule book mid-game. So you got to know your stuff, and you got to give these guys a bit of a pass. None of them have been a crew chief before. I find it tough that all four would not know, but it is what it is. So there's your rationale or explanation. He shouldn't have served. He did. I think they got one on that major. I think Shanahan made like 6 out of 7 stops. So I don't really want to say it didn't factor into the outcome, but I don't think it was the main reason of the outcome of that game either.
League came up with a solution. Wasn't the most ideal, but it was better than the alternative. I know there were people saying that they should have gone in and checked the rule book or gone into the locker room and talked about it. I agree with them. I know it's a delay in the game and you have to go sort some things out, but I think that's what they should have done.
Kind of the perfect storm, yeah, where just the circumstances surrounding it all led to having an inexperienced crew, and then a really kind of a quirky thing happened and put those guys in a tough spot. And so anyways, there's your update on the Brett Dobson penalty. Appreciate everybody who reached out in that regard to kind of fill me in on that. That's what it's all about. Okay, Lucas, I think we're there. We got through all of that. So Saskatchewan and Halifax get wins. Oshawa and Calgary pick up losses in week number 2. We are going to head to the construction site. Let's go do some outdoor stuff. Hopefully it's not in Ontario. Well, we know this. RyCor is in the lower mainland here at BC. So they're still working throughout the month of December. Off to the construction site we go, and the RyCor Construction Standout Players of the Week.
I'm a hard-working man.
Do things the most making. RyCor Construction Standout Players of the Week, brought to you by RyCor Construction. Of RyCor. He texted me right after Friday's game. Not a good start to week number 2. He picked Oshawa just like you, Lucas. So he was behind the 8 ball right off the get-go. Had to send out a bunch of personal reminders to a few select individuals who forgot to make their picks on Friday night. I said, well, do I just let them hang themselves here, or do I, throw out a text, hey, like, you can still get your Saturday pick in here. You kind of fucked up already, but gonna help you out here. So I did that for a few people. You know who you are. You're welcome. Don't forget to say, I'll talk about it in quarter number 5. RyCor Construction. They make it stand out over there. You can see for yourself at RyCor Construction Inc. on their Instagram and their Facebook. You can go check out their website. It's new, it's beautiful, and they got all the information that you're going to need to get in touch with the good folks over there at RyCor. RyCorConstruction.ca. They're working on a massive job right now. I shared it on the Facebook page. I don't know what they're building over there, but it is huge, and they're always busy. There's a reason for it. Is because they make it stand out when they do their work, whether it be indoor or outdoor renovations. They're gonna do it right. They're gonna make it stand out, and you're gonna love it. So check them out at RyCorConstruction.ca. Speaking of standing out, Lucas, who stood out for you in week number 2?
Saturday night action between Battle of the Prairies Not their top scorer for the Rush, but he is a effective one, and he was very effective, especially late in the game. Zach Mans
His shoe game was pretty tight. I'll tell you that.
took the words right out of my mouth. Those were some
Give me-
funky kicks he was wearing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Him and Zach Masson. I don't know what's going on there. Give me the stat line on Zach Mans because I don't have it in front of me.
3 goals for Mans on Saturday night, finished with 5 points. He was just everywhere. Had a couple loose ball recoveries as well, but it's more so what he did at the very end of the game. It's one thing to score a goal and get a couple points in the second quarter and the third a little bit. It's a whole other when you score the game winner and then you score with 15 seconds left on the power play to help solidify the win for your team in your home opener. So it's definitely a different kind of magic that Zach Mans has. And I read somewhere on, I think I want to say it was the Lax Mag, Zach Mans has close to double-digit game winners over the last 3 seasons in the NLL.
That's clutch for sure. And I think one thing for Zach Mans is I think he's become a better passer over the last couple of years where he's, always been a guy that wants to shoot first. And now that he's getting more attention defensively, I think he's kind of had to adapt his game a little bit. And he was looking for Robert Church and Shanks a lot across the floor on Saturday. And I just think his vision as a whole has gotten a lot better. You just brought up the Lax Mag. They came out with a top 100, I think. IL Indoor came out with, I want to say, a top 50. I got some issues with these lists. Just I got some serious issues with this. More so IL than the Lax Mag. I can kind of swallow down the Lax Mag, but the IL list, I'm sorry, guys.
That was gut-wrenching to read.
That was a tough read. I'm just going to say that. And the other thing, power rankings.
Fuck.
First and foremost, I think power rankings are absolutely ridiculous. But if it's something that, certain outlets want to do and they want to put their power rankings out, fill your boots. Like go for it. But to the people who get absolutely twisted out of shape because their team is not in the top 10 or they think they should be 3 and not 7, they are remember this when you're looking at power rankings, okay? People, classmates, listeners, they mean absolutely nothing. That's what power rankings do. They mean nothing. All they're there to do is spark debate between fans and whoever and maybe get one team pissed off because they're ranked lower or embarrassed or whatever. Like I heard Eli on with Teddy and Patty say, yeah, like I've seen the power rankings. I know where Calgary's listed. Good. Use that for motivation, Eli. I hope you do. But people that just get bent out of shape over power rankings, I got no time for that, and that will never be on this program.
No, they're absolutely ridiculous. I'm in the same boat as you, Jumbo. I think they're the stupidest thing, or at least one of the stupidest things ever created in sports.
It's one brand's opinion.
Like
it's just an opinion is all it is.
That's all it is. You brought up Lax Mag and IL Indoor, something new that the Lax Mag is doing this year. Sorry, let me rephrase it. I'm not sure if it's something new that they're doing or they just haven't done it in a while, but me personally, I love to see it. Their Lax Mag all Lax week 2 teams, first and second team selections. Yeah. What's your opinion on that? Like it, hate it, don't mind it?
No, I like that. Like I think you want to give as many guys some positive attention as possible, and I think that's a great way to do it. So I'm on board with that.
All right, you're on board with the all-week teams, but something that you haven't put on the board this week is your RyCor standout player of the week.
Oh, yeah, well, you know what? I was a little rough on Saskatchewan fans a little bit earlier, but you picked Zach Mans. I'm going to stay right there in Saskatchewan as well. Like I mentioned last week, this isn't all about goals and points and the offensive flashy superstar guys here for the RyCor standout players of the week. This guy right here put up 9 loose balls, 2 caused turnovers, 2 block shots, 2 goals, 3 assists, 6 face-off wins, and is the first player in NLL history to have 5 loose balls, 5 points, 2 caused turnovers, 2 block shots, 2 assists, 2 goals, and 2 faceoff wins. First player ever to do it, all courtesy of Adam Levy Lax right there. The Hammer, Mike Messenger. What a stat line right there for the guy that likes to just carry elk around in the bush. Holy cow. Again, 9 loosies, 2 caused turnovers, 2 block shots, 2 goals, 3 assists, 6 face-off wins. What a game for Mike Messenger.
Was there anything he didn't do that night? Like, go and read that stat line one more time. Is there anything he didn't record? Oh my gosh. Messenger was everywhere. He certainly delivered a message, I'll tell you that. Do not mess with me on my home floor.
Braden Maye got a little taste of that as well.
Yes, he did. Very much so. Whew. I would not want to be on the receiving end of that. Messenger, great pick. What's that? Mans and Messenger both coming to the construction site.
I mean, that guy could just build a house on his own. I'm pretty sure. I don't think he needs any help around the site there, Mike Messenger.
No,
he could
he doesn't.
Do the drywall, the framing, the flooring, the bricklaying.
He's gonna put the elk right over top of the fireplace. Like he knows what he's doing.
All right, boys, welcome to the construction site, and off to the factory we go for the Goalie Factory Goalie of the Week.
Big save, Giuliano. Rebound call, Crime Stoppers. Vince just scored a goalie goal. Jameson somehow comes up with the stop. Larceny.
And here's Shane Jackson off the bench, and there's Christian Del Bianco with a stick side save.
Goalie Factory Goalie of the Week. I'm sitting here with my phone kind of half open, and we were talking about Mike Messenger. What shows up on my memory little tab is Messenger and Priolo absolutely getting after it at Queen's Park one night when Priolo was with the Shamrocks and Messenger. It's freaky that stuff like that happens. And then Jim Else showed up after that in that video as well. So shout out to Jimmer. Goalie Factory Goalie of the Week brought to you by, of course, the Goalie Factory. I saw Caleb Kahn putting on the reps there. He was doing some sort of barrel roll, like commando roll drill out there at the Goalie Factory. All the young kids out there as well getting ready for upcoming box season. Just a few months from now as well. You want to get better at playing box lacrosse goalie? Visit the Goalie Factory at Goalie Factory _. They're on Instagram. They're on TikTok. They're on Facebook. They got a website, and they got good coaches. And we're doing a little collab all season long here for the Goalie Factory Goalie of the Week as well. And we've already told you it's Warren Hill this week, and we're going to talk to Warren all about it. So I don't know if we need to sit here and wax on the 2-goal performance for Warren Hill, because you know what, Lucas? He's in the waiting room, and he's going to join us next. Welcome to the factory, and then welcome to the program. Warren Hill on Lax Class right after this.
This is Will Malcolm, and you're listening to Lax Class.
Welcome back to Lax Class. We're into the second quarter of action, and as always, quarter 2 is brought to you by Edge Dynamics. Passionate about supporting communities and driving growth, based out of Alberta, they partner with nonprofits and small businesses to deliver sharp marketing strategies that make an impact. They understand the challenges of limited resources and are there to help you succeed, whether it's growing the fastest game on 2 feet or strengthening your organization. They're with you every step of the way. Visit edgedynamics.ca. Sharpen your brand on a global level. And don't forget, give them a follow on social media as well at Edge Dynamics Digital. Well, normally I look for a clever segue into the interview here, but I can't say it. This is about as dynamic as you're going to see, as we welcome the Halifax Thunderbirds goaltender in Warren Hill to Lax Class for the first time. Warren, welcome to the show. And I think my Alexa's going off. I said your name, and now Alexa's going off in my background. I don't know what's going on. Let's start here, Warren. Listen, I've been doing this podcast for a long, long time. I've had some pretty critical words to say about you in particular, because I don't think it's a surprise to you. You've seen yourself be really, really good, and you've seen yourself not be so good. And on Friday night, you were one of the greatest of all time. So where did that come from? Where did that game come from? How do you can that performance leading into the rest of the season here?
No, I think you just can't ask for a better start than that, right? And I wish I had a secret formula or something I did before. Like, no, I just kind of went into the game doing my stuff in the sense of like just my little pregame rituals and just tried not to think too much about it. And our team played really well. We were able to score some goals on Dougie. Defense played awesome, and I think it was just all the pent up energy, right? Home opener, and it just couldn't have went any better.
I don't know if it could have went any better, man. 2 goals against puts you in company with the names like Bob Watson and Matt Vince, 2 of the greatest goaltenders. I'd say the 2 greatest to ever play our sport, Warren. So you're in rarefied air now. I find it interesting. So you just went through your regular routine, did everything you do, your, I don't know, pregame nap, ate the same food, whatever the case is. We had Will Malcolm on last week, and he scored 6 that past weekend, and he talked about being in the zone and being in flow and how he could tell when he's in it because he's not really thinking out there. Do goalies get that same kind of feeling in between the pipes where you're just the ball looks humongous and you kind of know where shooters are going to go before they shoot it themselves?
No, I think like he's definitely right. Like I think when goalies or anybody, right, like the game slows down, and I think that's the best way to describe it. And like you said, like that flow, like you're just reacting. You're not really thinking too far ahead. You're not thinking of the past, and you're just enjoying the moment. And I think our whole team kind of felt like that. Like we were celebrating the big things, the little things, and we were just happy to be together again. And when you get a recipe like that, like it's hard not to play your best.
You talked about the offense and the defense. They had great nights, Warren, but I want to talk about the defense in particular because goalies are a different breed. I'm a former one myself, so I know all about it. We're already a little loose in the head a little bit. But what was it about your defense that allowed you to only allow 2 goals?
I think it's just the familiarity we have with one another, right? And even with us bringing in a Brendan Bomberry who plays Chiefs with a lot of our guys on the back end, and it was a kind of a seamless transition, right? Obviously having that connection to Six Nations, but I think Coach Suter put in a great game plan, and yeah, like Albany had that one game under their belt, and I think that was also a little sense of urgency for us too, knowing that they were able to get those kinks and stuff out first game, and also it was a benefit to us that we had some film on them, so we weren't going in there naked. And I think that the game plan, we were able to match feet with those guys and kind of expect a little bit of what they've shown in week 1 there. So no, I think all our defense played well and did their job right. And then when they're doing their job and goalies see the shots they want to see, and it just all flowed together.
Does Suits game plan change from team to team? Like I'm sure you kind of have your core principles and concepts that you want to accomplish defensively, Warren, but does the game plan change a little bit depending on who the opponent is?
Yeah, just like with anything, right? Like we got our core principles. We got our set defense. We have our set penalty kill and things like that. But if a team's doing something a little bit different, yeah, we have to prepare for it. So it wasn't any different this weekend. And with our next game here, we're going to be doing the same thing again. So we actually got film tonight, later tonight, and we'll be going over what worked, didn't work this past weekend, and then move ahead to Buffalo.
You mentioned the word urgency. And I want to know if you maybe like a home opener and new season, you obviously want to do well, but I'm wondering if you personally, Warren, felt a little extra urgency with that there was little bigger of a split with you and Hutch last year. They bring in Justin Getty in training camp, and it kind of looked to me, man, like you were going to get the start in game 1. I think everybody knew that, but it was kind of like you took your stick and you planted it in your crease and said, "This is my fucking crease this year," sort of thing. Like. You made a statement. Did you feel that urgency coming into game 1 personally?
Yeah, yeah. I think it'd be hard to go unnoticed, right? But also at the same time, like not be passive about it or anything. Like kind of learned that from Pooley, but with all that outside stuff going on, obviously I'm aware that last year wasn't the greatest, right? So just trying to get back in that saddle again, right? And I think every goalie wants to be in there. And also my mindset kind of just changed to let the chips fall where they may be. I'm just going to go out there, try to do my best. And if Hachi goes in, like he's a great goaltender too. And I think that's a cool part of our relationship is he's we got each other's backs, and if he's in there, I'm supporting him 100%, or if it's me. But obviously, being the goalie, there can only be one out there, and you want to be out there.
How about just a quick little follow up here, Warren? How about the guy staring you down in the other end? Like, here's a guy that you've won 3 straight man cups with, and kind of, this last one had to take a bit of a back seat, kind of down the stretch in that one. Were you looking down there going, I'm going to show you, Dougie? And 2 goals, and Dougie played well, but he didn't play as well as you. Did you guys have a bit of a chat after the game after that one?
It's funny, like, no, not really. I think, like, when people bring that up, at least for me on my end, it's kind of a complete opposite. It makes it a little bit more fun that there's that familiarity down the end, and like we're just like chopping it up in between benches and stuff like that, like just laughing. And so, like, when I see him down the other end, it's kind of a sense of, like, I don't know how you say it, like just familiarity, I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
brotherhood, maybe. Like, you guys have been kind of just connected your whole lives, really.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And like it's just a buddy of mine down there, so I wasn't really necessarily thinking about doing better than him or whatever, but obviously it's a game, right? So my job is to stop more balls than him. Fortunately enough, we were able to do that, and Dougie had a great game. And for him to only give, I think we had 3 empty netters or something like that, right? And he only gave up
Yeah.
8. Like, that's still pretty good for the NLL
That'll
standards.
win you
So
most games.
that'll
Yeah,
win
that'll
you a
win you
lot of
most games.
games. Exactly, that'll win you a lot of games. So no, there was no animosity or rivalry or anything like that. It was just go out there and play.
In the middle of the game, Warren, at whatever time frame it was or timestamp, when did you think to yourself, okay, I've only allowed 2 goals, I'm not allowing any more?
Honestly, I didn't really, like, it's cliche, but I wasn't really thinking about that. Just kind of just going through it, and I got asked that a couple times already by, like, just people and fans and whatnot. But no, it was just to keep playing, and I think as any goalie, you want to not give up as many goals, obviously. But I think you get into kind of a danger zone. I think it was talked about before. Something I learned, like, you can't do the math in your head, or like, oh, I only gave up 1 this quarter. That means 4 down the stretch. Like, you just gotta just roll with it. And I think that was
Stop the
the
ball.
risk.
Just
Yeah,
stop the ball.
exactly.
Well, listen, you stopped everybody except one guy. Like, one guy scored both those goals, and then you went like 46 minutes without letting one by. It just incredible stuff as we speak with Warren Hill here. And I was doing a little reading on you, Warren, about how you kind of came up in the game. And I didn't know this about you, but you and Randy are the same age. Randy Stotts, his dad was your coach, and he was kind of the guy that put you in the net. Said he was giving you a hard time, saying you couldn't really run that well. You're going to be the goalie, and kind of volunteered you to step in there. And really, this was like back in like paperweight, and you never came back out.
No, no, and that's pretty much how it went. Like, from my memory, anyways, I was the one that stepped in there and wanted to play goalie, fell in love with it. And but I guess down the line, like, yeah, Randy's dad Diggins was like, yeah, you couldn't really run. So your brother was. I have a twin brother, and he was making the team, and if I wanted to play on the team, I'd have to go goalie. So that's his story of it, whatever it may be. Like, it was just no. Once I got in there, I loved it, and Randy and I have been kind of attached at the hip our whole playing careers here, so it's pretty cool.
Jake talked about you being in company, Warren, with Bob Watson and Matt Vince. One of those goalies you will see this coming week when you guys are in Buffalo. What's the mindset as you cross the border into Bandit Land going up against Vino?
I'm gonna try my best, and like it's another game, but obviously they are who they are. They're 3-time champs for a reason, arguably the greatest of all time for a reason, and it's not gonna be
Is
an
it
easy
arguably,
task.
Warren? Is it arguably, or is it just he's the greatest?
I guess it depends who you ask. I think he's the greatest. He's
Yeah.
got like everything to show for it. But yeah, I think no, exactly, like they are who they are. They're a strong offense. You got Dane Smith, Josh Byrne, Ian McKay, those guys. You got Big Paul Dawson holding it down on defense. You got Vino, like you said, goal of all time there. So it's going to be a tough one, but we're excited for the opportunity.
Well, there'll be lots of fans from Six Nations that'll make the trip across to Buffalo as well, Warren, and they're going to be packed in there at KeyBank as well. So it'd be nice to have a little Thunderbird support in there as well. You come from Oswego, and I was also reading that you can kind of correct me if I'm wrong on this, but you help. And first and foremost, I didn't realize that there was no high school on Six Nations territory, which I find mind blowing. Like I don't know why that hasn't happened yet. Maybe you can enlighten me on that, Warren, because I think that's pretty crazy. But you help kind of people transition into the work world a little bit. You introduce them to maybe some trade courses that they might be interested in. You're helping teach your native language and kind of reconnecting people to your culture and stuff. I find this to be a really fascinating job that you do. So maybe you can kind of tell me a little bit more about it and how you got into it.
So we do have one high school, like just to correct it, we do have one high school on the reserve, but it's a lot of culture. It's called Goalie, and it's a language program school. But we have a pocket about 3 or 4 other high schools that take up majority of the population that they go off to. So I went to Hagersville. Some people go to Caledonia, and there's a couple schools in Brantford. So like the neighboring cities, towns near us, and
That's a tough thing for kids to get out of kind of pre-high school and then leave the reserve to go to these other cities or other schools and kind of be taken away from where they're comfortable.
you said like it is a culture shock. One going to high school off reserve when you're used to being a classroom full of your other native kids, right? And so yeah, Delby Paulus was one of the first guys I can think of that went off and did the college lacrosse thing, and I thought it was really cool. I didn't know you could go to school for that, so did that route. And obviously, you have Cody, Sid Smith go off to school, want to follow in their footsteps, and we were talking a bit about like the culture shock. So a culture shock going into a school off reserve, and then tenfold being going into a university or a trade school, perhaps. But I remember walking into a university with 300 kids in the classroom, and it wasn't easy, and I've failed a couple times, and it was difficult, and ended up going to OCC, going to Syracuse. So having that kind of experience, knowing that it's not easy for everyone and that there's more to it than just showing up sometimes. And I've also kind of, by no means am I a social worker, but had some social worker esque kind of jobs. So I kind of put
Yeah.
that all together to try and help out people that are trying to transition either to the workforce, or maybe they're trying to go off to university with taking some pre classes at our school, or people in the trades. So it's my job just to kind of be their support and liaison, to be that buffer between the school and the students itself, and also being just that listening ear, because I get it, and hopefully I can, if I can't do anything about it, hopefully I can just point them in the right direction.
What's the most rewarding part or aspect of your job? Because you just said you're connecting people and you know you're sort of a liaison. So what do you find most rewarding about your day-to-day job?
Like when they come back, like you get that surprise maybe 6 months later that they finally did it, or they got the job they wanted to, or they're in this program like at a university, or maybe someone from our trades program comes driving by a year later in their brand new truck and they're doing it. Like that's awesome. I love seeing people succeed in any way that I can help. I'm willing to do that.
Here with Warren Hill of the Halifax Thunderbirds and also of the Haudenosaunee Nationals, Warren. And I mean, the sport of lacrosse has, taken you to university and kind of all over the world for the most part. And the experiences that you've shared with your teammates and the Nats, like I can only imagine what all of those have been like for you. Do we know, have you guys gotten any update on what's happening with the quest to get into the Olympics? And, if it does happen, Warren, what would that mean to you? And if it doesn't happen, what would that mean to you?
I think it would, honestly, it would be like so beautiful, so awesome for our communities, as Haudenosaunee people to compete at the Olympics, and I think it would speak volumes as to who we are as a people. If it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, all the best to those guys going to compete. I'm kind of like in the same boat as you. Like it's kind of up in the airways right now. I know the organization Haudenosaunee Nationals are working hard to make that happen, but kind of the same thing. Like all we can do is play. It's kind of out of our hands, and we'll see what happens.
You've played sixes for the Haudenosaunee national team. What are some things that you've picked up playing sixes that you've translated or that have helped you in the box game, and
I
also
don't.
vice versa?
I think it's just the pace of play and learning to relax a little bit. I think like obviously playing sixes, you want to stop the ball, but I find it actually kind of fun. Like in that game, it's designed for high goals, right? Like a lot of goals and stuff. So anytime you can make a save in that, it's
It's
a
a
good.
bonus. It's almost a
Yeah.
bonus. Yeah.
Yes. So like if you can stop 1 out of 5 shots, especially against a Team USA or Team Canada, like heck yeah. But no, it's kind of like I don't know if you remember playing elementary school or whatever, playing like pickup basketball, just up and down, just going with it. Like
Yeah.
it was almost the best of both worlds. And
You
I'll
ever
be
want
lying
to
if I
take one out of the crease and go for a run down there, Warren? Maybe try and pump one in the net.
no, I like my crease. I'm not a runner. Maybe Diggins was onto something, but no, I'd be lying if I said I like the bruises and stuff that come after it. Obviously, you get touched up a little bit more, but no, it's a lot of fun, and I enjoyed playing the game and experiencing it for the first time at the world stage in Alabama was a cool experience, and I think it's yeah. You still
There
there?
you go. There, we got you. We got you.
Yeah. Sorry about that. It's
It's
literally
okay.
we're getting some
It's not
freezing rain over
not your
here.
fault. We're almost done here, anyways, Warren. There's a couple more things I want to ask you, but one of them is about your family. You know, you have a pretty extended one, right? You're connected through a lot of former players and some elders throughout the game. So just what your family means to you, and maybe even touch on Kurt Stiers a little bit, the owner of the Halifax Thunderbirds, and your relationship with him.
Yeah, no, I think just like with anybody, right? Family's everything, and I was pretty blessed to grow up in a lacrosse family. Got my grandfather Oliver Cat Bomberry. He's in the Hall of Fame. Got a couple uncles, Corey and Cam, Hall of Fame. Roger, who's was a part of that Bandits team that won.
Yep.
And you
Roger
got
Weiss, yeah, yeah.
yeah, Roger Weiss, and then you got Stu Montour, who is a pretty big role model of mine. Coached me probably junior till now. He's on the bench, and he's someone I can pick his brain, and so a lot of lacrosse knowledge. And so it's kind of funny. I don't think me or any of my cousins really had a choice to play lacrosse, but we wouldn't have it any other way. And they're big supporters. And to go back to Kurt, he's been nothing but top class for us, right? So he treats us very well, and he's someone that supports us and anything that we need, like he's there for us, even the little things, big things. He's a family oriented guy, and for something like this weekend, like to help families like go to a game or hook us up with some seats and stuff like that, it goes a long way, and it speaks to the kind of guy he is, and that's the kind of team that we have.
No doubt about it, man. Last one here for you, Warren, before I let you go here. Well, I got a couple of quick ones for you. I want to know why number 76. I want to know how good Saudi's pickles are, and what the heck is go-go juice? So those are your three questions. Why number 76? What is go-go juice, and how good are the pickles?
76 came about because that's my birthday, but also it's like I mentioned, I have a twin brother. And so when we signed up for lacrosse, we had to pick numbers, and we thought it was cool because I was 6 pounds 7 ounces, and my brother was or I was 7 pounds 6 ounces, my brother was 6 pounds 7 ounces. So he wears 67 in the summer, I wear 76, and it just kind of stuck. And the pickles, they're top notch, as you can say. They're real famous, and I'm not I won't touch the spicy ones. I'm not a spice guy, but I'll have his regular ones. Those are a key for success in the summer.
Okay.
And the last question of go-go juice, I couldn't think of anything to say. It's just Red Bull. It's just Red Bull.
Okay.
That's something that I can't that I always have on me, and Saudi's my guy to pass it over. And I think it was a West Coast game when I said that, and I was getting kind of late and just in the moment. So, but no,
Hey, I
that's all
love
it
it.
is.
I love it, man. Warren, I really appreciate you coming on. It was great kind of getting to know you. Like, I feel like I've been watching you for so long, and we've never really had a chance to have a conversation. So I'm glad we had a chance to do that. I wish you and the Halifax Thunderbirds nothing but continued success. And for what is from what I can gather here, you are one of the most liked people in that Halifax locker room and around this league. So keep up that positive attitude as well, man. And thanks for making some time here today.
Yep, no problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, there you go. There he is, King of the Hill, Warren Hill, joining an exclusive club last weekend, Lucas, putting himself into the record books with Bob Watson, Matt Vince. He only allowed one player to score against him. That is also an NLL record. And I don't think that's something Warren is going to be able to achieve every single week. But if they can get anywhere near that on a consistent basis from Warren Hill, this team here in Halifax is a championship roster.
100%. He's one of the top goalies in the league for a reason. We hope that's not his best performance of the season. We hope that there's one more or at least a couple more up his sleeve throughout the year, but we will see what happens. And going to be a battle of the orange colored franchises this week when the T-Birds are in Banditland.
Oh, it's going to be a good game, Lucas.
It
Halifax, Buffalo. I'm really looking forward to
Ooh.
that. Might be the toughest pick of the week. We'll see. We will see you on the other side. It's time for halftime, and then it's time for quarter three and the Lax Class Lock of the Week. Lacrosse Classified. Back after this.
Associated Labels and Packaging, a fun family company that offers premium quality labels and packaging with unparalleled service. With 40 years of experience, an extensive product catalog, and an ever-growing fleet of equipment, Associated Labels and Packaging is the perfect fit to take your labels and packaging to the next level.
This is Troy Cordingley. You're listening to Lax Class.
Halftime is over. Hope you're hydrated and warmed up. What do you got there, Lucas? You look like you want to say something. You good?
I'm peachy.
Okay. Associated Labels and Packaging are peachy as well. They've been with us since day number one. They are the best in the business when it comes to labels and packages. You can find them at associatedlp.com, and they're going to give you premium quality labels and packaging with unparalleled service. 45 years of experience. What more do you want? Product catalog is humongous. The fleet of equipment is on the cutting edge of technology. And they're going to give you the perfect fit to take your label or your package to the next level. Visit them at Associated Labels and Packaging. Just one of our fine sponsors here on the podcast, Lucas. I should probably mention, I usually like to do a little Christmas gift for all our sponsors here on the show for the year. And I have secured the gifts for this year. Now, normally I've been kind of done, like I've done some toques, I've done some shirts, I've done some kind of tote bags. What else have I done? I think I've done shirts twice. Hats, I did one year as well. I'm not going to spoil it, but something a little different this year for the classmates. And I'm just waiting for another little thing to kind of come in, and then I'm going to make my rounds and visit and ship off. So you're on the list, Lucas. You're getting a little gift from old Jumbo Claus over here, and everybody else is as well. So stay tuned. Goalie Factory, Edge Dynamics, Associated, family members included here, Lucas. Big surprise coming up.
Jumbo Claus, is that a is that a new
I just
hashtag
made
we
that.
can get
I just-
going? Is that's
maybe.
you kind of walked into that one. We're gonna have to get something going with that one.
I don't know.
But thank you, appreciate it. I will thank you again once I receive it.
Yeah.
Not necessary at all for myself, man, but I do appreciate it and thank you. And we'll talk more about this off air, but. From packages to locks of the week.
Well, hang on. We got to make sure that the classmates are following the podcast, Lucas, at Lax Class Podcast on X, at Lacrosse Classified on Instagram. We got a Facebook page as well if you want to go over there and give us a follow. Email address, lacrosseclassified@gmail.com. Somebody actually got into my email just today, in fact. A little West Coast connection over there. Well, I don't want to give too much away. I'm just going to say this here on the podcast. A certain classmate is going to be real happy when they open their gift under the tree this year. Above and beyond, this person is going for their family member here. I don't want to give too much away. Somebody's going to be real happy. So do all that. Follow the podcast. Don't forget to share, review, subscribe, do all that sort of stuff. Did get a little feedback on the video or no video. Got a couple for yes, got a couple for no. Didn't get a ton of a response there, so I think a lot of people are just indifferent to it all. I think we'll just let a sleeping dog lie there for now, because maybe one day, I don't know. We'll see. But let's get into it here. Quarter three, Lax Class Lock of the Week.
Lock of the week. Hey, let's lock and load it. Yeah!
I am going to be a very rich dude.
Ooh, it's a big lock, all right.
Lax Class Lock of the Week. Lock of the Week. Brought to you by Coolbet Canada. Coolbet.com is where you want to go. I've I'm a little salty visiting Coolbet.com after that Sunday of football. Lucas might have to dip into the bank account after that last weekend there. It was a tough one. But for you classmates out there that have not signed up to Coolbet yet, now is the time. Coolbet.com, sign up for an account, put in the bonus code before you put any money in of Lax Class. One word, LAXCLASS. Lax Class, one word. And then Coolbet will match your first-time deposit up to $200. They're just, again, they're going to give you $200 of free money just by putting in the bonus code. Pretty simple stuff. Take advantage of this. Like I said, 7-game slate for week number 3 here. One parlay, not enough. We had to do 2. Mine coming in at a plus 525 here for you classmates. Rock, straight up on the money line. I like it. Mammoth, straight up on the money line. They're in Philly. Mind you, they activated Caleb Martin today, which worries me just a little bit. Because I don't know if that is Caleb Martin gets an extra paycheck for a week because somebody's not making the trip to Philadelphia, or whether it means something is wrong with maybe Nate Whittam and they need a backup, or is something amiss with Dylan Ward. Now, if that's the case, I cannot be held responsible for what happens down there in Philly. I am making this parlay with the assumption that Dylan Ward will be starting for the Colorado Mammoth come Saturday. So just keep that. Rock, money line, Mammoth, money line. The total set between Vancouver and Vegas at 22, dropping this down to not 21.5, but to 20.5. So you're looking at like 11-10, and this gets done. I think there's going to be a lot of goals in this game. I don't, for a low-scoring game last week in Vancouver, I think they upped the ante here, both teams. Like, I think Vegas is going to come out firing, and I think Vancouver is certainly going to score more than 7. I think we could be in for a shootout between the Dogs and the Warriors. We'll see. We're going over 20.5. And then San Diego, who looked pretty impressive in week 1, beat Ottawa on the road. They're at home now. The Electric Factory. Tough place to win as far as history goes in San Diego. They got Rochester coming to town. Rochester, top team last year, really good. Their first game. They're coming across the country or the continent from Rochester, San Diego. It's a long trip down there to SoCal. First game of the year for the Nighthawks as well. Even so, I kind of like San Diego straight up here, but just in case. Like, I want this to be a safe spot, safe bet here for the classmates. So plus 2.5 for the Seals. Probably could have done money line. Probably could have done plus 1.5. But I figure why. Let's get this thing up to plus 2.5. So San Diego can lose by 2 goals, and you still win that bet. Plus 525. It's coming home. So half of your $400 now, because you put in 200, you get the bonus code Lax Class 200. Now you got 400. 200 is going down on this one. Maybe $1.95. You can save yourself like $10 or something for it, just in case. Lucas, you want to rattle off your parlay? You're going player props here for Ride with Larger.
As Jumbo said, 7 games. Mine's a doozy. Rock and the Roughnecks. I'm going Hayden Dixon, 4 points or more. In Vancouver, Keegan Ball, 4 points or more. Colorado and Philadelphia, Will Malcolm, 4 points or more. The Rush, blanking on their opponent, but it doesn't matter. Ottawa, yes. Yes, I did know that. Friday night, NLL on TSN, that's that matchup. Rush in the nation's capital, Robert Church, 4 points or more. I think the classmates are starting to get the theme of this parlay that I put together, or that you put together. And the Buffalo Bandits hosting Halifax. Dane Smith, 4 points or more.
Now, we got to say this. Like, at first, I just had like 4 of those guys listed down. You were like, switch Hayden out for Ball. And I said, why? And Pat said, listen, these guys their totals are all sitting around 5.5 or 6.5. So I said, well, why don't you just add on Hayden? And then they're like, okay, we took it one step further. This is going to be a nice, juicy parlay right here. You tacked on an Apple from Christian Del Bianco. So again here, Lucas, Hayden Dixon, that's Hayden Dixon, 4, Ball 4, Malcolm 4, Church 4, Dane 4, Del Bianco 1. And that's getting you a plus 700. And like I said, all these guys' totals were like 5.5 or 6.5 as far as points goes. We're taking the safe route here. We're just doing a lot of it. But you just list off that name right there. Like, I like the chances right there. You just need an apple from Del Bianco, and we're golden.
Yeah, definitely. Or, I'm knock on wood here, he could score an empty netter. He could.
Yeah.
All he needs is 1 point.
That's right.
We don't care.
Not an
how
assist.
It
He could get a goal for sure. That works too.
He could. You never know what CDB is going to do.
He doesn't have one in his career. And he would rather, I think he's had opportunity. He almost won the freaking Minto Cup by scoring a goal in 2016. I don't know if you ever seen that, Lucas. Have you seen that highlight?
Hold on. One more time in English. Christian Del Bianco almost won a Minto Cup by scoring an empty netter full-length floor. No, I've yet to see that clip.
Okay, you got to go back. I'll paint the picture. But I think it was, I want to say it was a 4-4 game in Game 5, deciding game of the Minto Cup, Orangeville and Coquitlam, at Langley Event Center. Del Bianco makes 2 unbelievable stops off of Thomas Hogarth to preserve the tie. Picks up a ball with a good 3 seconds left in his crease. This thing is bouncing down the floor online. Remember, this is Game 5 at the end of regulation for this is the deciding game. Bounces it 250 feet down the floor. It bounced over the middle of the crossbar by a foot. They would go on to win in overtime, courtesy of Derek Downs getting the overtime winner. But could you imagine a goaltender scoring a goal to win the Minto Cup at the buzzer? And it was like a foot over the bar. It was on right in the middle of the net, a foot over.
Oh my gosh.
You got to go look that up. You got to
go. I absolutely
lose my mind. I lose my mind.
The LEC wouldn't have a roof if that happened.
It was pretty nice. I mean, they ended up winning anyways, but they were all having a good laugh on the bench after regulation about it. And anyways, okay, so there you go. Good luck, everybody. Honestly here, just stay cool, bet responsibly. Don't empty out the account here on one weekend. Be responsible, but bet it all down. It's coming home, both of them. Let's get off to quarter number 4, the final quarter of the program, and let's make our picks for week number 3 in the National Lacrosse League. Time for Who You Got.
Hey, this is Eric Penny. You're listening to Lacrosse Classified, and now it's time for Who You Got.
It's time once again to play your favorite podcast game. Who you got?
Who you got?
Who you got?
Who are you?
Who?
Better. That was better, Lucas. Much better. Still room for improvement, but getting better. Okay. Standings. Let's do this. Well, first, winner. I told you this was going to come down to a tiebreaker, and I don't even know how many people went 2 for 2. Like, way too many to even mention. What was the final score in 16-13? So 29 goals. Nobody picked 29 as far as their tiebreaker goes. One guy picked 37. I don't know what that's about. But 3 people picked 27, and those were the 3 people that ended up in the randomizer of fate. And multi-time winner, Counselor Walter Green. I want to say, where is he? He's down there in Virginia, maybe? I got to look that back up. But Walter Green, longtime listener, longtime classmate, multi-time winner, weekly winner of Who You Got. I think he won last year, in fact. He's winning again. Also, keep in mind here, folks, that Patty usually likes to let the weekly prizes kind of stack up 5 or 6 before doing them all at once and sending them all out. So if you win in week 1 or week 2 or even week 3, you're probably not going to get your prize pack until week 6, week 7, that sort of thing. So just stay patient. Stay patient. All right, let's have a look at the overall standings. We got Jada Moski. We got LDG32, Lax Tillyman right up there on the leaderboard, and Naja Winkler, Idaho Spud up there. Four-way tie for first place right now. Lucas, you had Oshawa. That wasn't good. What did I see? You dropped like 61 spots. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that. It was not a good week for myself, as well as Funky. We fucked up. Big time.
I love it. All right, so that means I get to host. I think I jumped up maybe like 31, 32 spots, something like that, but still a long way to go. But as I always say, it's a marathon, not a sprint when it comes to who you got. And, 2-game schedule week there, like big deal. You went 2 for 2. Congratulations. Like, so did 150 other people. Like, don't be patting yourself on the back for that. No reason to get excited. But this week, 7 games. And I wouldn't expect a tiebreaker here. I think if somebody can go 5 for 7, 6 for 7, 7 for 7, you're going to win this thing. Like, I don't think more than one person is going to go 7 for 7, but we shall see. But still, make your pick, highlight the team in blue, put the confidence number beside it. So here's a week with 7. The number will start at 10 and go all the way down to the number 4. This week. So the 4 is going against the team that you are the least confident in, 10 going beside the team that you're the most confident in. Tiebreaker number, total amount of goals of the last game of the week, San Diego Rochester, total amount of goals you think will be scored in that game. And what do you do after that, Lucas?
Save and apply.
Save and apply. Okay, here we go. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Friday night. First game of the weekend, we get Friday, we get Saturday, we get Sunday lacrosse here in week number 3. Just one game on Friday, and it comes from the nation's capital. Rush 1-0, Black Bears 0-1. Lucas, who you got?
Friday night action, give me the Saskatchewan Rush on the road at a 7.
Yeah, I like it. I think Saskatchewan more and more is kind of becoming like Buffalo, where I'm just going to keep picking Saskatchewan until they kind of prove that I shouldn't pick Saskatchewan. So I'm taking the Rush as well, and I'll go 8 for Saskatchewan here in week 3.
Okay.
Colorado at Philadelphia. Mammoth beat the Warriors in week 1. Philly has not played, just like Las Vegas. They had to wait till week 3. Mammoth and Wings from Philly. Saturday morning here on the West Coast, by the way, 10 o'clock start. Thank you very much. Who you got?
Give me the Colorado Mammoth. Wings, I know they're rested, but I just feel the Mammoth are riding high after Will Malcolm's Mr. Sock trick. So give me Colorado at, I'm thinking 8 for this one.
I got this as my 9 game for the Mammoth, but now with that Caleb Martin news, I hope it's not Dill. I just hope it's not Dill. I'm going to stick with the Mammoth. I'm going to put a 9 down. That is subject to change. And by the way, if you do miss your pick, like on Friday, you can still get it. You got up until like 5 minutes before face-off of the game to switch your pick or make your pick. So just make sure you just get it out of the way. When you're listening to the show here today, just go do it. And then if you have a change of heart, you can go back. But at least you know you're locked. Saturday, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific, Calgary and Toronto, 2 of Nick Rose's teams here. He played for both teams last year, and he's going to play against the Roughnecks this year. Toronto, they lost their home opener, but they're back in the hammer. They're taking on the Roughnecks. Who you got?
I like the Rock. New building, new city for them. Well, new old city, whichever way you want to look at it. New building, Toronto, they're a 9.
Renovated, built in. Toronto for a 10. This is my 10 game, baby. Let's go, Rock.
Wow.
Halifax and Buffalo. Same time, different place. Bandits hosting the Thunderbirds. It's a good-looking game right here. 2 1-0 teams. Who you got?
I love Halifax. I really do. But it's hard to beat the Bandits in Bandit Land. Buffalo's my 10 pick.
Buffalo, it's Buffalo for me as well, and 10 pick for you, eh? I mean, I'm not gonna risk that much because I think Halifax is a pretty good team, and if Warren Hill plays like that again, they could give Buffalo a run for their money. Bandits for a 7. Oshawa at Georgia. Who you got?
Firewolves, not just because they're my team, but I just think that Georgia, they're just young. Some say they're in a little bit of a rebuild. I think Wolves are going to be able to bounce back. They're my 6 pick.
Okay, I'm taking the Georgia Swarm here at home. I don't know what's going on with that Firewolves offense. They got 8 against Toronto. They got 2 against Halifax. You got Dauber there in goal if he's not suspended. Probably get fined, I think, more than anything for Dobson. And they'll appeal if he does. I haven't heard anything yet, but I'm taking Georgia here. It's going to be my 4 game. I'm not confident in this game whatsoever, so I'm making this my 4 pick, but I am going to take the home team. 2 more games to go. Saturday night, the standalone West Coast Saturday night game. 2 West Coast teams. I mean, if Vegas and San Diego's the Josiah Bowl, then I'm calling Vancouver and Las Vegas the Jumbo Bowl here, Lucas. And I'm just going to preface this. No, I'll let you. But who you got?
Warriors. Give me Vancouver at a 5.
Just going to preference this by saying right now, these 2 teams play twice this year, Lucas, okay? I'm taking Vancouver this week. And when they play down in Las Vegas on February 27th, I don't care what their records are at the time of this. I'm going to take Vegas that way. Okay? Just loud and clear for anybody that might get a little Vancouver this week. Vegas, when they're in Vegas playing Vancouver, I'm taking the Dogs. Give me Vancouver. What did I put down there? I think I put down 6. Yeah, 6 for the Warriors. Final game, Sunday, 5 o'clock. On the East Coast, 2 o'clock afternoon. Tough up against football. I'll be watching, though. Nighthawks and Seals. Who you got?
From Pechanga, give me the San Diego Seals as my last pick. I only got 1 left, so Seals at a 4.
Okay. I know we got San Diego plus 2.5 on the parlay here. I'm flip-flopping on this one, Lucas. I don't know who to pick.
That's why it's a 4 for me. It could go either way.
I'm going to go with the coin here. I'm going with the coin early in week 3. President's Cup logo is heads. Canadian Maple Leaf is tails. And what did I say? Heads. I got to go San Diego here. San Diego for a 5. There it is. I got 5 home teams, 2 road teams.
I'm split down the middle. 4 home, 3 road.
All right. Save and apply. Enjoy the games, everybody. That's going to do it for Lax Class 368. We thank you for listening ever so much. We thank our fabulous sponsors as well. Mohawk Lacrosse. You're going to win a handcrafted hickory wooden lacrosse stick if you win the overall championship of Who You Got. Make your picks. Coolbet. Stay cool. Bet responsibly. Goalie Factory. Become factory built at the Goalie Factory. Edge Dynamics. Sharpen your brand on a global level. RyCor Construction, make it stand out over there at RyCor and Associated Labels and Packaging. They're the best in the business when it comes to labels and packages. I want to thank Warren Hill for stopping by the program. You, of course, the classmates, for listening each and every week. 369 is next. Nice. For Lucas Arger, I've been Jake Kelly, and for the fastest game on 2 feet, for the creator, stay safe, stay healthy, stay classified.